Yo, what up, what up? We're gonna do this in the dark. I'm about to get in the shower and shit, so it is what it is. Just want to touch on something real quick. Try to make this short as possible. I want to talk about the modern day females' mindset and philosophy of date them all. If you're a woman that just see, the thing is this is what they're saying. Date them all until you find the one that does this. Basically, date them all until you find one that complies type shit, right? Now, if you want to just date them all because you want to have fun as a female and not commit and shit, I really can't say nothing about that. You know what I mean? Do you, right? But a lot of them are saying date them all until you find one that works type shit. And there's a problem with this shit. It's not going to work. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, men are watching. Men hear the things that women say. So when you got these women saying, date them all, girl, a lot of men know what time it is when it comes to the females. And most men who have brains and know game and know the game and shit like that and have standards for themselves and shit like this, they're going to be able to tell if you're talking to multiple men. Because for one, here's the problem. When a woman really likes a guy, she doesn't really want to date them all anyway, right? So in order for a woman to really be dating them all, that means that all of them are not the one that she really wants, or the one she really wants doesn't want her. Either or, it still puts all those other guys in a position to where they're not getting what they deserve. They're not getting 100% of that female. And even if that woman doesn't know the guy like that yet, to give him 100%, they're not getting a 100% chance of getting it deeper than, just talking or something like that. They're not getting a fair chance. And they're going to pick up on this because, like I said, unless you are the one that she really like, you're going to know because you're going to get dry text, probably no sex maybe. There's going to be a lot of shit that you're not going to get that you would get if you was dealing with a woman who's only dealing with just you. Or if you're the one she really wants the most, even if she is talking to other people, if you're the one she wants the most, or you're the only one she's talking to, there's a certain type of attention and energy that you get from a woman, in that type of situation versus when she's talking to them all. That's why men are going to pick up on you talking to them all. And once they do, they're not going to take you serious unless they're desperate or stupid. So therefore, talking to them all is going to blow up in your face. It's not going to help you find the right guy. And even if it did, 9 times out of 10, the woman's going to get the itch to still talk to a bunch of guys. It's not going to be enough. So even if she finds the so-called right guy, eventually she's going to miss talking to all those different type of guys because everybody's different. Everybody has better things about them than the next man, and the next man has better things about him than the next man. So she's just going to become confused at the end of the fucking day. And she's a female at that, so there's more men rolling in constantly, every day, all day. So she's going to just stay confused, man. And not only stay confused, but she's going to be to the point to where no man is actually satisfying enough for her to not date them all and talk to them all. So either way, like you have an unsatisfied chick. If she does find the so-called right guy, she'll probably just fumbling due to unsatisfaction and shit like that because, 10 bags from a man is better than one. 10 sleeping with 10 men is better than one. All this other shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, if a woman's just trying to have fun, then I get it. But if you're trying to find a dude, can't do that as a woman because you're the receiver. See, they're thinking like men, but they got to realize men are not getting sperm blasted on them and shit like this. You know what I mean? They're not the receivers. The woman is. That's why if a man senses that you're dating them all, they're not going to want to deal with that. See, a woman, most women get turned off if you're dating a lot of women, But at the same time, women like the fact that you can get a lot of women. Men really don't hang our hats on, oh, she can get a lot of men. I like it. I'm turned on. They don't really care about that shit. They prefer it to where you're not talking to a lot of men and shit like this. Even though women do too, but most men, well, I guess in a sense, men do care. Like, I got a trophy. Look at my trophy, So in a sense, yeah, but I feel like it's more on a woman's thing. But all I'm saying is, man, it's not going to work, man. I'm talking to multiple men because you could be out with me. I could be the so-called right guy. Remember, that's the one y'all looking for, the right guy. I could be that or whoever. You could be out with me and now your phone blowing up and texting and all this shit or calls and shit. Now I'm going to look at you as you're just a player. You're just a female player. You know what I mean? And everything could have been going good with me and you, but you decided that, okay, I know it's going good with him, but I'm still going to talk to 5 other guys. And eventually I'm going to catch on to that somehow, some way. It's going to come to the light. And now I got to look at you differently. So, you're not going to win that way. What they think in their minds is, I guess they think like it's a numbers game. So if I talk to a bunch of them, then one got a hit type shit. And they should learn their lesson that that's not going to work from Facebook. These women would not get all these men approaching them in real life like they do on Facebook. So Facebook has given them a playground to basically choose any man they want. And guess what? They're still complaining about how men ain't good enough and they can't find a good man and shit. It didn't do nothing. It just teased them even more, if anything. At least before social media, they wasn't getting teased by every damn body. Now, they're getting teased by a lot of men they might actually like, but don't go nowhere a lot of times because, they're only coming at you because of social media and shit like this. They would probably never come at you in real life 9 times out of 10 if it was before social media era. But either way, man, you can't, how you going to convince a man, let's say a man that got a lot going on, he has standards and all that, and he's looking for reciprocation on the female. How are you going to convince this man? Let's just say I'm fucking, I don't know, NBA basketball player or something. How you going to convince me that you're the one when you're giving this energy to other men too? See, energy never lies. You can say what you want and you can do things with your actions, but energy never lies. So your energy is not going to be where it should be. And a man that has standards and a man that is actually looking for somebody, and let's say he's keeping it real and only trying to talk to you, he going to notice that energy. See, if a man's talking to multiple women, he might not notice it, or he just simply don't care because he's dealing with other women too. So he doesn't care that you're not giving him all that energy that you're also giving to other men, which is why you're not giving him all that energy. But if a man is really trying to be real with you and only deal with you, he's going to notice that shit because your energy's not going to be with his energy. And I know they're going to say, oh, don't match your energy, blah, blah, blah. Man, y'all be nitpicking that shit that don't matter. All matching energy is effort. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Who gives a damn? But at the end of the day, it's effort. And that man's going to notice that your effort isn't like his when we're talking about the so-called right one. Now, if you're talking about players and you want to play, then it doesn't matter. Or if you not playing around, but you're talking about players in this instant, they probably ain't gonna notice or care because they're dealing with other women too. So it's kind of like it's kind of like people talking to 10, 20 people. They don't really value your energy and shit like that. Versus if they're just talking to one, they're just talking to one, they're gonna notice that shit. Like, oh shit, she ain't hit me up and shit like this. See, this is what people don't get a lot of times. They call it clingy and things like that, but they don't realize that if a person is really being authentic and trying to only deal with you, there's going to be some type of clinginess to it versus I'm talking to 10 women, so I don't give a fuck if she texts me or not type shit. Or I don't care if he texts me or not type shit. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, when a woman is only dealing with you and you're the only option, she's going to blow up your phone, basically. Versus a female that's talking to 10, 20 different men. The only way that a woman could talk to multiple men and still be blowing up your phone like she's only dealing with you is if you're the number one guy she wants. That's the only way. But again, when you're talking to multiple, dating them all type shit, a lot of times they're just going to stay confused because they're going to like this about this guy and like this about that guy. They're just going to stay fucking confused, dude. You know what I mean? And men are going to pick up on it because you're not giving them the correct energy that a woman would be able to give them if she was only giving her energy to him and not other men. Period. This is why a lot of times men aren't giving women the energy that they want from men because they're talking to more than one woman. Plain and simple. If you was the only woman, there'd be some clinginess to this shit. There would be. Because you're the only one they're dealing with. So you're going to get all that energy. That energy ain't veering off, oh, let me text her for a while and text her for a while type shit. It's not going to be that. The answer is not dating them all, man. You're going to fumble the right guy because the right guy is going to sense that you're not only talking to him and he's going to leave versus the player. The wrong ones don't care because they don't care if you're talking to other people because they're talking to other people. That's why they're not going to notice that you're not really giving them that type of energy that a person would give someone who's only dealing with them. The only person that's going to notice this is the so-called one that y'all claim that you got to talk to multiple people to get. That's the one or the ones that's going to notice that, wait, man, she got to be talking to other men. I'm cool. I'm gone. So, yeah, you're going to keep the players around. And a lot of women confuse this with he's strong or he's not thirsty or some dumb shit like that. When really the player talking to 10 different women, that's why he seems patient and he doesn't care as much and all this other shit. Versus a man who he trying to just deal with you. It's going to be a different type of energy. If he ain't got nobody else on the back burner and all that, and he's just trying to deal with you, like I said, I'm going to say it again, there's going to be some type of clinginess to it. Period. But we live in a world where, clinginess, I don't want that. But I'm going to cry and say, where's the good women and men at? It don't make sense, man. The people just like the ideal of having the right one, man. And half the time, the one they think the right one is something made up in their head that doesn't, a woman or man in their head that don't even exist. This person don't even exist. You know why? Because what's in their head is a perfect person. And there is no perfect person. But you can't tell people this shit, man. And this is why they pass up on people. They could actually run into the perfect person, but since they already got something made up in their head, it's like a stumbling block or a filter that filters out the ability to see that, hey, there's a perfect woman or man right here. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't date them all. I mean, if you're a woman, there's always going to be men in your face. So what's the point? Give the one that you think that you want the most a fair chance. You're not giving him a fair chance if you're talking to 10 different men. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. And he's going to feel that energy. You could tell. I can tell the difference between a woman who basically I'm her only option versus if she's talking to 10 different men. It's not even close. So again, the only ones that's not going to care in that situation are ones who are not trying to deal with you like that. The so-called, if you want to call it players or whatever, they're the only ones that's not going to care. The so-called right one that y'all claim this tactic is going to work for you to get, that's the one that's going to notice this and care and be like, all right, I'm good. She got to be texting other men, talking to other men. I'm cool. Why the fuck should I why should I only try to deal with her and see what she's about when she's talking to 10 or 20 different guys? You're not going to do that. You're not, and you're going to notice it. And I'm going to keep saying that. Well, really, I'm almost done with this video, but I'm going to keep saying that. They going to notice the fact that you're talking to multiples because they are trying to only deal with you. I thought the goal is talk to multiples until you get one that only wants to deal with you. But the problem is they're going to sense out that you're not just talking to them. So therefore, they're not going to do that shit. He could be a man that I only want one woman, dog. I'm trying to just find one woman. That's all I want, bro. But then he come across you and sense that you're talking to 10 different guys. You fumbled him. You gonna fumble him. I don't give a fuck what they say in the feminist groups. This is why a lot of them don't have men. This shit right there. Don't abuse your ability as a woman. Of course you're gonna be able to deal, a lot of men gonna be in your face because you got a vagina. But what's the point? It depends. Like I said earlier in the video, if you're a woman that just want to have fun, and then just talk to multiple men. But if you want something serious, you can't move that way. You're going to have to date one at a time. And I know that's against the golden rule of feminists. That's the forbidden most sin. Don't talk to just one man. It's ridiculous. You know why they say don't talk to one man? Because you might miss out on another one. But let me ask you this. If the one you're talking to is the one, if you make sure the one you're talking to is the one you're really interested in, why the fuck? You're not even going to care about who you missing out on. See, you only care about who you're missing out on and feeling like you're missing out on someone else or something different is when you're dealing with people who you don't feel like that's the one you really want. Facts. So either way, it's bullshit. If you're dealing with a guy you really like that one post say, when you with the right person, cheating don't cross your mind. But when you're dealing with the right guy, getting to know the right guy, I don't give a fuck, married to the right guy, getting to know the right guy, whatever level, right? You're not going to want to care. You're not going to care about, oh, let me keep this one on that deck and that one, and let me keep looking for others. You're not going to do that because you got the one you want. Or you're talking to the one you want. Why don't they tell you this in this feminist shit? I don't understand it. Don't understand it. Only way you would want to deal with more than one man is if you haven't found the one you really like that. So either way, it's like irrelevant to talk to multiple men. Because once you find the one you really want, you're not going to want to talk to no one else. That's how women are. So literally, it's irrelevant unless you're just going to date a bunch of men you really don't want, which is why women will talk to multiple men, or the one she don't want her. So the other men got to suffer for that and be used. Should I say misused? Because everybody, it's okay to be used in relationships and shit, but you're going to be misused because you're not the one she really want. So everybody else is just there. You know what I mean? But hey, I don't know what else to tell y'all, man. I mean, keep listening to the other females tell you, date them all and shit. And the truth of the matter is, it's all about what type of guy you dealing with. It ain't got nothing to do with you got to date 100 of them. And then one, that gives you a better chance. Because if that was the case, then Facebook would have stopped. Facebook would have fixed all that. Because before Facebook, you're lucky if you like, women only ran into guys or knew of guys that are kind of close vicinity, you know what I mean? But on Facebook, it kind of made it to where they ain't even gotta leave nowhere. They could sit at home and literally thousands of men could come their way and they could try to just pick from them. But guess what? Even with all those so-called more options and shit, they're still struggling to find a good man. So that right there proves that just because there's more to choose from doesn't mean that it gives you a better chance of finding the right one. And I'm going to leave it at this, man. Again, even if you did find the right one, they're probably going to fumble for multiple reasons. Number one, once you dabble into that bad bitch talking to 10 men you getting attention of 10 men, sex from 10 men, money from 10 men, etc. One person, it's going to be almost difficult. It's going to be almost impossible for you to be satisfied with one person once you start dabbling into that shit so much. Example, when a man is used to sleeping with different women and shit, and then he said, I'm going to try to settle down and just sleep with one woman and one pussy. Yeah, good luck. I mean, it's not impossible. It's going to be hard for him versus a man that already was trying to just deal with one woman all his life. You know what I mean? Just like it would be hard for a man who's only wanted to kind of like deal with one woman his whole life. I'm going to be a player now. I'm tired of these women. I got played. I got divorced. I'm about to be a player. It's almost impossible for him to do that shit. And I'm speaking on that on a personal level because I was always a relationship type of guy. You know, I could say, man, I'm just going to be a player, dog, or whatever. I ain't going to commit or whatever. I'm just going to be a player and talk to multiple women. And that's just not my style because my whole life I've always just wanted to like basically be with one woman and be cool with that. So that would be a difficult transition. And I know that personally. So it works both ways. But, you know, back to what I was saying, like, not only was she probably fumbling that way, getting the itch of, you know, wanting to go back, talk to different men and shit. It's just not enough to satisfy her. You know, once you start dabbling into that bad bitch type of lifestyle of dealing with multiple men, it's kind of almost difficult to stop. Just like some women aren't used to that. You know what I mean? So they look at sleeping with different men and shit. They like, nah, you crazy as hell. One's clearly enough or too much or damn near too much for me. One's damn near too much. You know why? Because that woman all her life was used to dealing with just one dude, you know, versus a female player who's used to dealing with multiple. And a lot of women are female players, and that's why they are not settling for just one of you dudes, man. It's not enough. It'll never be enough, dog. I don't give a fuck what you say. Unless you're absolutely perfect in her eyes. But guess what? That perfect guy don't exist. So therefore, none of y'all gonna meet that. Not when it comes to a female player who's been used to dealing with multiple people. Like they say a lot of times in the red pill community, you know, it's almost impossible for her to pair bond once she has dealt with so many different men. And I find that to be true for the most part. Not saying all women, but for the most, and men, I feel like for the most part, you know, it's almost impossible for them to pair bond when they're used to dealing with so many different ones. But not only will she fumble she more than likely will fumble the right one, even if she did use this tactic of talking to them all to find the right one. Not only will she fumble them that way, she can also fumble them, like I said earlier. We could be out kicking it or something, and I could be the right one. Let's say I'm the right guy, and everything going perfect for a couple months or something. Now her phone blowing up or some shit. I ain't gonna say couple months. Let's just say everything going good between us. And we out and now the phone blowing up or the text and all that. And then I see it's a dude or some shit. Now I don't look at you the same. You know, I thought you was the one and all that. Now I think you're just a female player. You know, and you might not even talk to that guy in a few weeks or something. You might have been trying to get rid of him because you found me, right? But then he texts you. Now you look guilty. And you might not be guilty. You might have been done with him. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, you might have just decided to talk to multiple ones. And another thing, I guess it goes back to the pair bond thing. unless you really like super close to her so-called perfect dude that doesn't exist, it's just not gonna be enough for her to say, all right, this is good enough. And even if it is, it's only gonna be temporary, man. That's just what it is. Especially the better they look, the more, let me say this, I ain't gonna say the better they look, because looks are subjective, but the more attention that they can get from men that they actually like. Because the men they really don't like, they use them for attention. But the men they actually like, you know, the same as you, or even sometimes better than you. It's kind of like, here's another thing. Here's another thing, and I'm done for sure, for sure. It goes back to the pair bonding thing. But I want to use the example of like when a woman leaves her ex, call it the ex because she's leaving, she broke up, right? And then she goes out, let's say she runs into the perfect guy. And let's just say she really feels she's done with her ex and she runs into the perfect guy. Maybe they start messing around or whatever. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. Either or, it don't matter. You know, this dude could be the perfect dude, but it's hard for them to see it because of the ex, right? Because they're still attached to the ex. Now apply that same shit. Take the ex out the picture and apply that shit to women who are dating multiple men. You could literally be the perfect guy, right? But she was just fucking old dude a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago. So she got feelings for him too. Like I said, they're going to stay in a state of confusion, dog. It's not going to clear any fucking thing up. They think, oh, I'm going to date a bunch of men and it's going to clearly hit my mind. Boom, him. That's not going to happen. Because they're going to be wrapped up in different type of guys. And if any woman says, well, nah, I know what I want. And when I find him, I know what I want. Right? And that's true. If you are the one they really want, like I said earlier, they're not going to talk to multiple guys. So therefore, it kills the bullshit that you got to talk to them all. Because even if the girl runs into the guy she likes the most, she's not even going to want to talk to them all anymore. What don't y'all get? So either way, that philosophy of talking to them all to get the right one, it's all bad. I didn't explain everything in this video. There's no way they can nitpick around this shit. There's no little chisel that they can find and try to slither some shit. No, I covered it all. I covered every last point or every last way you could think of, even trying to think of why this is a good idea. It's not a good idea. It's not. Don't do it. And you're damaging. You're a receiver as a female. You're just damaging yourself. You're ruining your work, basically. You're going to fumble the right one. Because the moment he sniffs that shit out, that you're talking to more to him, he's done. He's done. Not even worth it, man. I think I'm done with this shit, man. But hey, again, if you want to just have fun, then I guess go for it. I don't suggest you do it as a female because you're the receiver. It's just going to destroy your worth for real. And you're going to regret it in the end. But, if you just want to have fun, then all right. But if you're trying to find that one and shit, that's not the right way to go about it. Do not believe what they're telling y'all. That is not going to magically make the right one pop up because you're dating 10 different men. If anything, it's going to run the right one off. And the players are not going to give a fuck about who you sucking and fucking because all they care about is sex. So of course they don't care. But the one who actually wanted to make you his and only be with you, he's going to care. Don't y'all get it? Just like the female players. They don't give a fuck if I was dealing with other women. The only time a woman's going to care if I'm dealing with other women if she really wanted to be with me. Period. So apply that same shit when it comes to men. You're only going to run off the right one. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm done with this shit, man.